Hi guys, good evening everyone. Hello guys.
Good
Good
evening,
evening.
sir.
Hi Kechi, good evening. How you guys doing?
Fine. Thank you, sir.
Oh, awesome, cool. Kechi, you were not on the last call.
Yes, I apologize for that. I didn't know it was going to be held on a Saturday. I was planning
Mm,
Sunday.
okay, I think the same thing for Victor. Victor, were you on the last call too?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I guess it was only Kechi that was on the last call. No problem. So let's just wait around for some minutes. By 5:10, we are going to get into it. Okay. That being said, who? Okay, has new content be uploaded to the LMS?
I saw one yesterday, JavaScript.
Okay, so but we've not consumed the content.
I have not consumed it. I don't know about that.
Evening, sir.
Okay. Hi,
Yes, I'm good, sir.
Ajiboye. Good evening. Good
Yeah, so I think the content was just uploaded recently. I just even also saw it. I just saw it. Also.
Hi, no problem. So okay, usually like what I used to say, this call is supposed to be like a review call, take questions and answers, and all of those things. And then we do review of the elements content, take questions and answer and all of those things. But okay, since we've not consumed the elements content, okay, let's just wait till 5:10 unless people come in. Yeah. Okay, hi guys. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. So it's 5:12 already. 2 minutes past the time that we were supposed to get started. So once again, welcome everyone. I want to appreciate everyone. Okay, that has always make it to the call for the past since when we started this boot camp. I mean, everyone on this call, to me, yeah, everyone on this call is are the people that I recognize as the uh I don't know what the English would be, but for like as the people that come regularly. Okay. Victor Timine, the three Victors rather, sorry, the three Victors, Komalafe, Ajiboye, Nkechi. You guys have been doing awesomely well, attending and turning up. You guys are doing great. You guys are doing well. And I'm really happy for you guys on that. So I want to use this medium, okay? This I just want to use this time to appreciate you guys for uh following along, putting the energy, taking the bootcamp serious. And I really hope to see you guys out there building great stuff and building cool stuffs. Okay, cool. So for this week actually we are supposed to so normally, like I already said, we are supposed to be doing like a review of our LMS content, like more like a summary of the LMS content. If there are questions from the LMS content, you get to ask it here and then we answer. But seeing that the content was recently posted and we've not even consumed it. So first and first I want to ask, so far so good. Since we started the yeah, so far so good. Since we started the boot camp and up to this moment, is there anything that you would like to ask, technically related to work and just stuffs that you'd like to ask professionally, technically, and anything in generality? If it has to do with the learning, if it has to do with something else, I mean that is within the scope of the boot camp. You can go ahead and ask if there's anything at all. Guys, can you guys confirm if you can hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Oh, okay, awesome, awesome, cool. So yeah, anything at all.
Okay, so let me ask or let me start. Um, Front end engineering, like in the workspace, is it still very, very relevant? Since people are using I just want to know the is it that later we'll also learn how to build with AI too.
Okay, so yeah, when it comes to the intervention of AI in development, yeah, I mean we cannot say uh we cannot say no to AI these days, because I mean in a lot of spaces, in a lot of fields, in a lot of places, AI are being used. Okay, but it doesn't, okay, now this is where I get to answer your question. It doesn't kick off the front end engineers. Okay, it doesn't kick off the front end engineer. Yeah, I mean people are saying AI is coming to come and take over, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. Yeah, still AI is writing code, is doing this, is doing all of those cool stuff, but still, it's not going to take our place. That is why, okay, as a smart developer, as a smart engineer, you would want to, okay, apply AI in your day-to-day activities. I mean, use AI for your stuff. AI actually makes development faster actually. So currently I work in a dev shop, okay, and then we've had clients come in with projects, and then in their head they have something of you guys are going to be working with AI, so I want you to have a shorter timeline. So in short, what I'm trying to say is, even when you want to work for people, people know that AI is there now. So you have to just adapt to this AI thing, because people know there's AI there to make your work faster. So they will give you what? Shorter timelines now. Okay, so but I think at the end, I mean, I think towards the end of the boot camp, we are definitely going to talk about how you use AI for engineering, prompt engineering, and all of those things. Yes, definitely. So yeah, like I said,
Thank-
AI is in vogue, is in town, is in use. I mean, is everywhere, almost in everything that you want to do. But then it doesn't make humans irrelevant. Okay, it doesn't make humans irrelevant as long as you, as an engineer, don't say no to AI. You're not an AI what's this AI apathy, this political apathy. So AI apathy, someone that says no, I'm not going to use AI and fuck AI, no to AI and all of those things. No. As an engineer, I mean you just have to. Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Um yeah. So any other thing, people of God. Oh, okay, sorry. Someone is speaking, but it's very low. Who's speaking?
I'm the one.
Ajiboye, was that you?
Yes,
Oh, okay, I can hear you now.
switch to
I can hear
speaker
you.
now. So I want to
All right.
make so in case, for instance, now there are jobs and job vacancies where they need someone to work on something and all, and they have requirement and qualifications there. Okay, BSc in computer science, this and that. Though they need a front end engineer or they need a web developer or something like that, but they still, so the requirement for their education qualification is there. So now, based on our boot camp and all, can we make use of our certification we are issued here as can we submit that also? Because I know that it's still based on the skill and everything, but just for record purpose or something like that. So can
Okay,
we?
so I think I get what you're talking about. Yeah, this has to do with the certificate you get from the boot camp and how worthy is the certificate and all of those things. Yeah. Yes, very much. The certificate is going to be worthy because I mean, South Africa actually partnered with I'm sorry, right now I can't remember the name, but Africa had a partner with I mean a very strong organization that is going to make isn't so our certificate here is not just going to be some lame as certificate that you just get from Udemy and all of those stuff. So our certificate that you get here from here definitely is going to be worthy and it's going to be worthwhile. Yeah, yeah, very much. Yeah, very much. Okay, so in the absence of any other things, I think what I'm going to just do today, okay, is yes, we are going to go ahead with the LMS contents. I'm going to go ahead with the summary of the LMS content, but we're going to make it. I'm not going to go too deep because I believe after you've taken the LMS content, then you'll be able to put your one plus one together and then you'll be able to actualize it. So today we're going to be talking about JavaScript. Okay, we are basically going to be doing an introduction to JavaScript. So what exactly is JavaScript? So JavaScript is the language that actually gives life to your website. Okay. Imagine the days of Web 2. No, sorry, not Web 2. Web 1.0, where you just have website there. You just have text, you have images, click is not doing anything, scroll is not doing anything extra. I mean, the website is just there. It's more like an information website. So if you want to transform such website, okay, into a website that has, I don't want to say that has life, but yeah, that has life, that has interactiveness, that has feel. Okay, it won't just be a website that people go to and they just feel, okay, yeah, this is more like every other information website out there. So if you want your website to have interactions. When they click on this button, something should happen. When they submit this form, something should happen. When they scroll, I want to do this and that. You get. So if you want to do that, so the language that you're going to be using to add life to your website, okay, is JavaScript. So JavaScript is the language that gives life to your website. Your HTML gives you the structure. Your CSS gives you the styling. While your JavaScript adds the interactiveness. Okay, while your JavaScript adds the interactiveness. Give me a minute. Let me get my VS Code up. So JavaScript will add interactiveness to your website, and also the JavaScript, it does not actually have really any meaning. It's just like, yeah, just JavaScript, just JavaScript. And also it's a scripting language. It runs right in your browser. And with the intervention of Node.js, you can now run JavaScript on servers also. Give me a minute. I'm trying to start up my VS Code. Ah, okay. So let me just use this one. Okay. So yeah, I can share my screen now. You guys should just confirm when you can see my screen, please. Let me know when you get my screen. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, like I was saying, so JavaScript is our scripting language, the language that brings life to our website. Okay. So now, how do we add JavaScript to our code? How do we add JavaScript to our websites? Okay, so it's pretty straightforward, like we would add CSS. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. This is not okay. Yeah, so I think this is better. So now it's pretty much like the way we had CSS to our website. Okay, so we have three options for adding JavaScript to our website. Okay, the first option here is to add it inside of the head here. Okay, sorry. Give me a minute. So the first option here is to add it inside of the head here. Okay, we can decide to add our JavaScript here. So what we'll just do is we'll create a script tag here, and then we write all our JavaScript right inside of here. Okay, so now the deficit of doing this, okay, the bad side of doing this is this would make your browser, this will make your website slow. Why and how? Because the script would have to load first before the body of the website loads. And in essence of that, the body of the website will wait until, as a result of that, rather, the body of the website would wait until the script has loaded. Okay, this actually makes your website slow. Okay, it slows down your website. It slows down your website. So the way we can actually overcome this, yeah, basically is to now what? Grab the script here, that's the other method, okay? Put it inside of the body. So we can either put the script inside of the head or inside of the body. We can either put it inside of the head or what? Inside of the body. Okay. So now if we want to have the script inside of the body, it's just the same way we want to have it in the head. We have the script, and then now we can write our JavaScript here. Okay, and then we can write our JavaScript here. That is the second method. Now, this second method works fine because I mean your body is going to load before you get to the script part. Okay, which makes everything works fine. But now the downside of this is, imagine you are working on a very, very large website or a very, very, very large web page that has tons of HTML files and tons of JavaScript files, and JavaScript lines rather. You have tons of HTML codes, you have tons of JavaScript line of code. So then you'll be having what? Then you have to be scrolling continuously. That then you'll be having 500 lines of code, you'll be having 1,000 lines of codes, which is very, 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 very unprofessional, I must say. Having 500 lines of code, 1,000 lines of code is very, very quite unprofessional. Okay, so that's what brings us to the third method. Okay, the third method is you have a script file outside. So you are going to have like an external script file. So it's just the same way we have our internal CSS file and external CSS. So we can have our internal JavaScript also, and then we can have what external JavaScript also. Okay, so that way we just come into the asset here, create our JavaScript folder, and create the JavaScript file. For our HTML file, it's going to be .html. For CSS file, is .css. For JavaScript file, it is what? .js. Okay, we're going to be saving it with .js. So this is my script file, script.js. And in here now, I want to link it to my website. So to do that, I'll just do what? Script, and then SRC. SRC is to point to what? To the resource location. And I'm going inside what the asset, inside the JS, and picking my JavaScript and script your JS rather. So this way I have linked my JavaScript to my what? To my HTML. Okay, let's see that in play. Let's just have hello world here. Okay, let's just have hello world here. And also now inside of the JavaScript, let's just do something very simple. Let's have alert hello world. This is to test that yes, my JavaScript is working fine. Sorry, let me just disable this AI. So this is to what? This is to what? Confirm that my JavaScript is working fine. So I'm going to run up this now. Okay, 11. Put this up in my browser. You see that? We can actually see that what? This is working what? This is working fine. Okay, we can see that my JavaScript is working fine. If I reload this, I get to see it what? I get to see the hello world again. Okay, we see that. So yeah, that is our word. That is the word. That those are the three ways that we can actually bring JavaScript into our code. Okay. The first method again, I'm going to run over it is what to have the script inside of your head here. Okay. And like I said, let me comment this out. Like I said, this script for this way, the script would have to what load first before the word before the body of the website loads. So in as a result of that, it's going to what make your website kind of slow. Okay, it's going to make your website what slow. We load this. You see that this hello world is showing before this prompt here is showing before the hello world inside of the body shows. Guys, are we together, please? Guys, are we together?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
The
Yeah,
prompt here
please.
is showing before the word, before the hello world inside of the body shows, meaning that what the script is actually loading before the content of the body loads. Okay, but if we do the other way around, okay, say we don't want to have the script here, okay, we want to have the script internally, not in the edge, but like in the body right here, which we can actually have like this. This works, meaning that what your body would load and then the script would load also. So now the third method here is to have what? The third method is to have what? This external file, which I actually prefer. Why? Because imagine you're working on a very, very web page, like I said earlier, on a very, very long web page, rather, sorry. And then you have 500 lines of HTML or 200 or 300 lines of HTML, and then you want to have tons of lines of JavaScript also. It's going to make the file very long, which is, like I said, quite very, very unprofessional, very, very unprofessional. So professionally, you would want to have your JavaScript file in an external file and then linked it to your word HTML file like we did here. Okay, and then with this, we see that my content is showing before my JavaScript loads. Okay, which works also new code. Okay, so that's how we are that's how we add JavaScript to our code. So now let's how do we now let's now talk about comments in JavaScript and how do we like console in JavaScript. So there's this popular method in JavaScript called console.log. Okay, the first thing every JavaScript developer needs to learn is what console.log. What does console.logs? So console.log works when you are saying you are working on a website and then you are trying to debug your script, you're trying to look for where there's an error, where there is an error in your script. Okay, that's where console.log works. Okay, how do I now see this message? So because if I come here now, reload this, I'm not seeing anything. So where on earth is this log? Okay, then let me do hello world like we have in the browser. So let me just do hello world in the console so that it doesn't look as if it's coming out in the browser. Now I'm reloading. You see that? Let me use this so that we can see. I'm reloading. You see that? It's not reloading. I mean, it's not showing this content. So when I console.log, where am I going to see it? So where you're going to see your console.log is inside of your console. And how do we get to our console? We go to the developer, go to the Google developer tool. Okay, to get to that, you right click and then you go to what inspect. When you go to inspect, you are coming to what console. Okay, and then we can see the console here. Okay, we can see the message that we logged in the console right here. Okay, so if I console.log another message, sorry, if I console.log another message, I am here. Okay, reload this, we see that hello world in the console, and then I'm here. So this is how you log. This is how you log or you keep track of what when you're debugging in your code. This is how you log. Okay, and now there is also other two variations of console.log. We have the console.one and what console.error. So just like their name implies, console.log is when you want to log an information or you are debugging. Okay, console.one is when you want to what log a warning. Okay, and this is what it looks like. Let's just do this. This is warning, and then this is what error. Let's save this, come back here, reload. You see that now? So these first two that we have here are the words, are the logs. These are the console.logs. This is the words console.warning. We see how the warning looks like. It has this warning icon here, and this has the like an error icon here. So this is warning, this is error, and this is what log, and they are all used for different purposes in your code. So, but then this is how you can log your code. You can log a variable. You are writing a script. You want to log a variable. You want to see the value of a variable. This are all of the words, the console.logs. Now, how do we write comment in JavaScript? So write comment in JavaScript, we use what? The forward slash, double forward slash, and then you can write your words. You can write your words, your comments. Okay, double forward slash, you can write your comment. And then if you want to have a multi-line comment, meaning that you don't want it to just be this line, sorry, you don't want it to just be this line only, you want it to also be this line also. You want to have multi-line comment, multi-line comment, multi-line comment. Okay, so you can actually do that by what? By doing what? Forward slash, then asterisk, space, then asterisk, and forward slash. So everything that goes in between these two asterisk is going to be considered a what? A comment. As long as it keeps going in between or in between the what? The two asterisk is going to be considered a what? A comment. Guys, are we together, please? People of God, are
Yes.
we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Because I mean,
Yes.
up to this extent, we've not done anything extra, right? So let's just now let's move to the next part. Okay, now we've talked about sorry, we've talked about logs, how to we've talked about console, and we've talked about what um comments. Now let's talk about data types. Okay, let's talk about what data types, or yeah, let's talk about data types. Now let's talk about data types. Okay, what exactly is data type? Basically, imagine you have a container. Okay, a container is supposed to hold anything. Okay, a container can either hold liquid, can either hold I mean, you can either use it to hold liquid, you can either use it to hold solid, or you use it to hold pasty stuffs. Okay, so the type of those contents are different. Okay, now coming to JavaScript back now, every variable or every values that we are talking about in JavaScript, every values have a data type. Okay, it's either the data type is a string, a number, a boolean, a null, or undefined. Okay, so now let's take it one after the other. What exactly is a string? Okay, so now let me just do this console. Okay, I'd have to remove this console.log. So if you have a word, something that looks like this, like this our hello world message. Okay, this is a string. Okay, this is a string. String goes in between what quotes, so you can either use the double quotes for string, or you use the single quote. So if I have something like this is still considered a string. If I have something like this is still considered a string. Okay, so you can either use the single quote or the double quote for what? For string. Now this is a string. String can take in what? Alphabets, it can take in number, it can take in special characters, it can take in space, and so on and so forth. Okay, so a string is like an alphanumeric. Okay, it's alphanumeric, takes in number, takes in alphabet, takes in special character. Okay. Now, how do you know this is what this is string? So there's a type, there's a method called type of. So now what I'm doing here right now is I'm logging the type of this. So I want to know what is the type of this. So when I save this, go back to my browser here, reload now, what do I get? You see that? String. I'm getting what? String, meaning that this that is right here is a what? Is a string. Okay, meaning that this that is right here is a string. String can take in name, can take in it can take in alphabet, special characters, and numbers, as long as it goes in between what? A double quote or a single quote. Now, let's be careful. You cannot have something like this to be a string. This is not a string. This in fact is an error. Okay, this in fact is an error. If you want to have alphabet, you need to put it inside what? Single quote or what? Double quote. Okay, so because that is going to be what? String. Anytime you're using an alphabet, okay, as a value in JavaScript, it is going to be what? String. Okay, now let's talk about number. Okay, so we have the type number. The type number is for something like this. Let's look the type of, it's something like this, basically our numbers. Okay, reload this, what do we get? Number. Now in the number could be a whole number or a decimal number, it doesn't matter, it's always going to be what? Number. So number is for number, string is when we want to have alphabet and text and all of those things together. Okay, and when you are writing string, it goes in between double quote or single quote. When you're writing number, it doesn't go inside double quote or single quote. Guys, are we together, please?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Now the third one that we'll talk about is what? Is the true or false, which is what? Which is called the boolean. Okay, which is called the what? The boolean. So how does boolean come to play, or what exactly is boolean? Boolean has two values. Boolean has what? Sorry, this is how to spell boolean. Boolean has what? Two values, true or what? False. So this is mostly used when we are evaluating a condition. You want to check if one number is greater than another number. You want to check if a value is equal to another value. If a value is greater than another value. If a condition is true. If a condition occurs. If a condition does not apply, and all of those things. So Boolean is what? True or false. We are going to be seeing more of this in the future. That's why I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about it in details here because we've not gotten into the parts where we get to start evaluating this. Okay, so now the other values that we could have as for data types is what? We could have null, undefined, null, undefined, or objects and array. So in programming here, every other data types are considered as primitive data type except these two, because they are more like a data structure. Okay, they are more like a data structure, object and array. We're not going to talk about it now. We're going to be talking about it in the nearest future. Okay, so now for null, null is when you declare a variable, and null is actually a value. Okay, but a null value. I don't know how to explain this too well now without talking about the advanced part. So null is actually a value, but a null value. When you put a value to the null, it means that, so when you declare a variable and you don't put a value for it, we're going to talk about what exactly is a variable in a minute. So when you declare a variable and you don't put a value to it, it's going to have what? Undefined. And then at the end of the day, that could actually break your code. Okay, because when you start checking the value of undefined, start checking all of those things, it could actually break your code. But you could also what? You could assign a null value. Null value means it has a value but an empty value. Yeah, I think that's what we just call it. It has a value but what? An empty value. It means that value is nothing. Okay, is nothing. It's just there as a placeholder. It is empty, but then the variable is not going to be empty. Now let's talk about variable. Okay, to be able to match all these things together. Now let's quickly talk about variable. Okay, guys, are we good up to this point? Am I making the move too fast? are we grabbing what we're supposed to grab? I mean, we could actually have it stop here just so that we could go and consume the LMS content, and then we would meet in the nearest in next week. Yeah, we'll meet next week. Guys, up to this extent, are we good? Are we together? Hello, people of God.
Very good, sir. Very good.
Very good.
Thank you.
Awesome. 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 So now let's talk about variables. Okay, let's talk about variables. So to declare variables in JavaScript, we have three keywords. But first, what exactly is a variable? Sorry. But first, what exactly is a variable? So imagine variable as, okay, now let's go back to that container analogy that we spoke about earlier. Imagine variable as a container that is holding water or liquid or whatever inside of it. So variable, okay, is a what? Is a container to hold what? Value. Okay. The variable is the container. The thing that it's going to hold is the what? The value. Okay. So now to declare a variable, we have three keywords to declare a variable. We have three keywords to declare a variable. We have the var, which is the old school. Okay. We have the let, okay, which is actually very, very common now. I mean, this came into play since ES 2015, which is ES 6, okay? And then we have the words, the const also. This is for what? Constant. Now let's talk about this one, these variables. Let's talk about these keywords one after the other. Or first, before we talk about the keys, how do we declare a variable? What is the syntax for declaring a variable? To declare a variable, you are going to have either of the keywords. I mean, you could have your let, you could have const, you could have var, either of the keywords. Then you are going to have your words, your variable name. Okay, they are going to have your words, your variable name, and then you are going to have what equals to the what to the value. So this way you have what declare a variable and you've assigned a value to it. Now let's talk about it one after the other. The keyword, we've talked about those keywords, the var, the let, the const. Okay, var is the old school, let is like it came to play since 2015, it's actually a block scope also. And then const means you are declaring a constant, you don't plan on changing the value. When you use const, you don't plan on changing the value. And also, I'm going to advise, do not use this. Don't use var, because var is those school, like I said, and then it's function scope and all of those things. Okay, which we are going to be explaining in the future. Just know that use let, stick to let, because it is what block scope. Okay, and let is more like the new kid in town. It's not the new kid in town because it's been in place since 2015. More like the new I don't want to say new replacement. It's the new replacement for var. Yeah, the new replacement for var. Okay, so let's always stick to what? Stick to this. Okay, yeah, someone is raising their
It's
yeah,
me.
yeah, go on.
Sorry, said let does what? Blocks code, or I didn't get that.
Block scope. Block scope. While this is
Scope.
function scope. Scope as in scope. We're going to be talking about the scopes in the nearest future. Don't worry. I'm
Okay.
going to be explaining what is
Okay.
function scope, what is block
Thank you.
scope, what is global scope. We're going to be talking
Oh,
about I know, right? So we're going to talk about all of those. So, but then just know that stick to let, use your let when you want to be able to change the value. But if you want to declare a variable that you don't plan on changing the value, okay, then you use what? Const. I mean, if I declare a variable here and I don't okay, so let me just do something here. Let's see if my AI is going to pick this. Let's add to be equals to 565. Oh, let's num to be equals to 5. I just want to show us something real quick. Okay, and then I do console.log, no, and then I do console.log num. Okay, okay, actually, I don't know. So Actually, with AI in town, actually, and AI being embedded in everything. So if you actually do something like this and you don't change the value, okay, AI is going to flag this. I mean, I've had experience with this with SonarCube. SonarCube is going to flag this, tell you that you are using let for a variable that you don't plan on changing the value, that you should change it to what? To const. Okay, so in essence, what I'm trying to say is when you are declaring a variable that you don't plan on changing the value, you stick to const. But if you want to change the value, maybe dynamically you want to change the value, you want to replace it or something, then you want to use what? You want to use what? Let. Okay. So now let's now declare a variable for starter. Like I said, to declare a variable, you do use what? You use the let keyword and then what? You put a variable name. Now I'm going to say you use the keyword rather, sorry. The keyword could be any of these three or any of these two. So the keyword that we're going to be using, we're going to be doing let. Okay, now the variable name that we want to call, let's just say num. Okay, so this is how you've declared a variable here. But this variable is going to have what? It's going to have a value of what? Undefined. Because what? You only declare it. You didn't attach a value to it. Okay, this is how you completely initialize a variable. You declare the name, you declare the variable, and then you assign a value to it. This that we have here is just what? Declaration. Declaration. This that we have here is just declaration. So for complete initialization of a variable, you have to what? You have the keyword, then the variable equals to the value that you want it to hold. So this is a complete initialization. Now this variable would have a value, but here you've only declared a variable and the value is going to be what? Undefined. Okay, let's see this now. And even when you this is it. So when you log this num, you are going to be getting what? Let's see what we're going to get. What do we get? Undefined. Yeah, the value is going to be undefined because what? We only declared the variable. We did not assign a value for it. But then when we declare name, what do we get? John. Okay, what do we get? John, because name holds the value of what? John. Okay, so now variable are more like a container that holds value. Anytime you want to reference that particular value, you call what? The variable. Guys, are we together? Variable are container that holds value. Anytime you want to call that value, you call the word instead, the variable. So now imagine I want to say something like console.log John is a good boy. Now imagine I'm building this program and I want it to be dynamic. I want it to be able to capture any user that comes into the system. Then I have to be what? This will be quite even impossible for me. Okay, and that is where what variable comes in. So instead of having John being static type here, we can have what? John here, and we can have something like this. This value is going to be what? John, and then we're going to be having our what? Is a good boy. Let's see that, and I'm going to just pause here. If you have a question on this part now, I want you to ask because I believe I hope you have a question. So what do we get? John is a good boy. How do we get John is a good boy? Name is holding the value of what? John. So right here, when you are logging this variable, what is going to be outputted here? John, and then this is a good boy. Will just what? Join up with it. Guys, do we have questions, please? Hello, people of God, do we have questions?
Yes,
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, go on.
What is the function of the symbol, the add symbol?
Okay, so now this is called concatenation. Basically, what does concatenation mean? It means that you are putting two things together and then you want to output it as one. Okay, because as you can see here, John is a good boy came out as a word, as a sentence. Okay, or as a value. It came out as one. Okay, it came out as one. It didn't come out. John did not come out differently. Then is a good boy come out differently. No, they all come out as one. So what we had here is also concatenation. So it puts the value for John, put it in here, and then added it to the word, to this string, and so that they will come out together as one. So you could either have plus or you have what? Comma. So this also works. So if you have name, comma, is a good boy. If I reload this, what do we get? We still get what? John is a good boy. So this concatenation here still work. Okay? Guys, are we together?
Understood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
sure.
Awesome. But in the case of where you have something like this, let me now talk about this. This, and then we now have another one. Let's first name to be equals to do. Okay, I think last name should be do because it's always like John Doe. So yeah, then John. Okay, so now if you now want to have something that says full name, I want to put these two together. Can someone tell me what I'm going to do here? Can someone tell me what I'm going to do here? This full name, I want it to
First
be
name plus last name.
first name plus last name. God bless you, Victor. God bless you, Victor. First name plus last name. But now, can someone tell me what the problem is going to be here before I log it? Just tell me what the problem is going to be here.
No colon, no double colon.
No double colon, no double colon, no, that's not the problem. So this is a very, very, very dicey one. So let's log the value of this now. I'm going to comment this out. And we're going to, I mean, this is the most interesting part of the bootcamp. We've gotten to JavaScript. So now if I log this now, what do we get here? We get what? John Doe. All what? Jam-packed together. That is what I was expecting. All jam-packed together. Now, what if we want to put space in here? What do we do? Then we'd have to do put this, then this. Okay, so this is like saying what? You have the first name, then put space, then the last name. Guys, are we good up to this point? I need a reaction. Are we good up to this point? Okay, so cool. So now that means I'm going to have the name, the space, the first name, space, then the last name. Awesome. So if I reload this, what do we get? We get exactly that. John space Doe. Now, before we leave here, let's do something that would make our code very, 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 very sweet. And that's called what? Template literals. What does template literals mean? Don't confuse yourself because don't confuse yourself. What does template literals mean? Template literal means that what? You want to have this thing together as a string and you don't want to be using plus like this. So what do you do instead? You do it's still just almost the same thing. Let the full name to be equals to what now? You're going to now have what? Backticks. I don't know where this would be on every other keyboard, but if you are using a MacBook, it's directly in front of your one. Okay, yes, I have a Windows laptop here. So if you are using, okay, yeah, also if you are using sure. If you're using a Windows laptop also, it's actually in front of one. So for every keyboard here is in front of one. So that's icon in front of one. When you press it, that's the backtick. Okay. So now everything that goes inside of this place now is going to be considered as a string. Okay. Now, yeah, it's going to be considered as a string, but it doesn't still cater for our first name and last name, right? Now, for template literals, we can actually put variables inside of our template literals. How do we do that? You are going to have a $sign, then open curly brace and close curly brace. Inside of the curly brace, you will now put the word, the variable name. And then here we can now have our space and have the same thing for what? Last name. So if I log this now, what do I get? I'm going to get the first name, then this space that I have put here, then the last name. Save this. Let's see what it looks like. You see that? John Doe. We still get our John Doe. Guys, are we together, please? So do I need to run over this template literals again? Anybody? Do I need to run over this template literals again? So let me just run over it. I'm not getting a response. So let me just run over it. So what does template literals do? Template literals helps you to be able to what? Put out variables. I mean, you can actually have 2, 3, 4 variables together, and they're going to all come out as a string. You can see what we have here. We have first name, last name. If you have a variable middle name, you can also have that in here also. Okay, so they just help you to be able to what, instead of having first name plus space last name, all of those things. No, you can just have your word, the first name, then normal space, then the word, the last name. You don't have to do the plus 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 concatenation. Okay, so if I want to use it here instead here, if I want to use it here to log this instead of using my concatenation here, I can actually do something like this: console.log. What am I doing? The backticks, dollar, then curly braces, and putting the name variable inside here. Then the space is a good boy. Okay, is a good boy, meaning that what, it's going to put the value of John here, and then it's going to put the space and every other text. And when I reload, come back here, you guys get what? What's our name? Name. Oh, sorry, we've changed name to what? We changed name to last name. To first name rather. Let's just go with first name. Yeah. So let's save this. Now come back here. Reload. Now we get what? John is a good boy. Someone muted the mic. You want to say something?
No. Please, sorry.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So guys, are we cool up to this extent, please? Guys, are we cool up to this extent?
So
Talk
Qudus,
about,
what's the use of the dollar sign?
so the dollar sign is when you want to bring in a variable. So now if I do something like this, so now imagine I don't put this dollar sign here. Okay, no, let me just remove only the dollar sign. So if I save this now and reload this, what do I get? You see that I literally get that stuff there like that. It's not going to reference the variable. But for you to be able to reference that variable, you need to put the dollar sign there. The dollar sign means that you want to put a variable here, and this is how you will now pass in the variable name. Okay. I don't know what's the question, but I mean, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Victor, that was Victor. Okay, yeah, cool. So, someone else wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, can we use plus? Can we use dots for the concatenation instead of plus?
Plus for dots for concatenation, no, we can't. So, like I said, there are two options. You can either have the comma, and when you're using comma for concatenation, you can only use it inside console.log. You cannot use it here. You cannot use it here. Imagine we want to have something like this. No, you cannot use this here. This is going to throw an error here. Okay, because what this is going to consider a string, but then this is not a string. You can only use comma for concatenation inside of what? Inside of console.log, like we did here. So basically, concatenation, the icon for concatenation is plus, or you stick with what? Template literals, like we have here. Okay, so for concatenation, use your plus or use template literals. Guys, are we cool? Blood Arum, you are the one that asked the question. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Awesome. So okay, so I'm going to pause here, or should I say I'm going to stop here. I don't want to, I don't want to overload us. So let's just take a minute and let's also go and consume the LMS content. Let's consume the LMS content. And yeah, we're going to see you on Saturday again. So far, so good. We've been able to talk about how to add JavaScript to our code. We talk about the console.log, .1, .error. We'll talk about the type of, like I said, the type of helps you to just get the type of that particular value. And then we'll talk about the data types, string, number, boolean, null, undefined. And then we'll talk about how to declare a variable. Okay, how to declare a variable using either of the keyword. We'll talk about the syntax. So to completely declare a variable, you have the either of the keyword It could be var let const, or and then you have the name of the variable, and then you have equals to the value. Okay, so now that brings me to one thing that I did not talk about. When you are naming a variable, okay, you cannot do something like this. Imagine I want to have exactly. So now imagine I want to have a variable called last name that we have down here now, and I do last space name. This is an error. Okay, this is an error because in JavaScript, white space is not supported for what? It's not supported in JavaScript. So when you put white space, it's going to consider the two words as different. It's going to consider the two words differently. Okay, it's going to consider the two words differently, and that's what now brings us towards name casing. Name casing in JavaScript means what? How do we name our variables in JavaScript? How do we name our variables in what? In JavaScript. So we have the words. Let's talk about this. We have the snake case. We have the camel case. You're going to see more of this. You're going to still come across this in the LMS content. I just want to talk about it before we go. And then we have the Pascal case. We have the snake case, we have the camel case, and then we have the Pascal case. And there's this one other case where you just have everything type jump out together. Can't remember the name of that case. Let's just stick with these three for now. When I remember that one, we'll talk about it. So what does snake case mean? It's just like what we have here. So if you are planning to declare a variable, let's think of a variable name that is going to be very long. Okay, now let's think of a variable relationship to child. Sorry. So this is how snake case work. You would split each word with what? Underscore. So all of this is still a word. It's still a word in JavaScript. It's still going to be considered as a word. Okay. But I mean, it's a word. It's a compound name because you have splitted it with word with underscore. Okay. So if you want to have this for camel case, you are going to have something that looks relationship to child. So for camel case, the first letter of the first word is going to be small case, while the first letter of every other word is going to be what? Capital letter. Guys, are we together? The first letter of the first word is going to be small case for camel case, while the first letter of every other word in that particular variable name is going to be what? Capital letter. Okay, this is still considered a variable name. This is still considered a variable name. For Pascal casing, it is what? It's going to be like this: relationship to child. What does this mean? Every first letter of every word in this variable name starts with what? Capital letter. Okay, every first letter starts with what? Capital letter. R in relationship starts with capital letter. T in toe starts with capital letter. C in child starts with what? Capital letter also. Guys, are we together? Are we cool? And as you can see down here, I used what? What did I use down here? Can someone answer me, please? I've already moved that thing. I probably moved it. What kind of casing did I use down here?
Pascal.
No, I mean down here.
Camel case.
That's camel case. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you to the two victors. Thank you to the two victors for participating. Yeah, camel case, because the first letter is what? Small letter. Okay, and then the first letter of the first word is small letter, and then the next letter of the next word is what? Capital letter. Okay, that is what? Camel case. Okay, if I have something like this, then this is what? This is Pascal case. Guys, are we cool? So yeah, we're going to call it a day, and yeah, I'll see you on Saturday. If you guys have any questions, we can ask. Exactly. So yeah, go on, Victor.
Yeah, it's not actually a question. I need an assistant with my LMS. I can't, since I fixed my system, I can't have access to it. And I've changed, tried to forget password. I didn't receive any OTP.
Have you okay, so have you spoke to Ajiboye about this?
No.
Okay, so can you speak with Ajiboye, see if he can help around, else then Ajiboye can help you reach out to the admin.
Okay, all
Okay?
right.
Yeah, so you can reach
Thank
out
you.
to Ajiboye. All right. Nkechi, yeah, your hand is up.
Yes, yes. I hope I'm not going too forward, but I wanted to ask, what we've done here, how does it reflect on the web page? Or we've not gotten to that part yet.
Okay. Everything that we're doing here, you can see we are just checking the console to see the
Mhm.
value, right? So now to that part where we get to use this to write onto our HTML or into our web page, we've not gotten to that part yet.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I mean, if you actually check the LMS content, yeah, in the LMS content, yes, the LMS content that you should have for this week would cover it. Yes.
Okay. And I
Yeah.
also want to thank you very much. Your classes are very educational. Very, very. I've been trying to learn this for quite some time, but yeah, with this, I've made good progress. Thank you very much, sir.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, thanks to you guys too for I mean for your because I must say, I must say we have quite a devotion here. So for your devotion, thank you for your patience, for putting up with everything that comes your way, and they just be like, no, I want to see this to an end. I want to make good out of this. Yes. Thank you for everything. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next class. Please oh, I'm begging now, make sure to consume the LMS content. I mean, this week LMS content. I mean, the LMS content that was posted. I can't remember when it was posted actually, but then the LMS that was posted, LMS content that was posted, it's intro to JavaScript. It's going to talk about the variables, data types, and all of those things that we'll talk about, and then it's going to go a bit deeper. So make sure you consume the content so that in the next class we won't have to be waiting around and be starting over again from scratch. So we'll just be doing a summary of everything you've seen in the LMS content, and then yeah, it will actually be a more productive and interactive class. Yes, please. So yeah, in the absence of that, I'll see you. Absence of any other question, if you have question, you can throw it up now. But in the absence of any other thing, I'll see you guys in the next class on Saturday. Yeah, people of God, enjoy your weekend.
Thank you very much, sir. Bye, bye everyone.